Hey guys, and welcome to today's video where I will be talking about tarot decks versus oracle decks and which one is better. Uh, so, starting with tarot decks, this is the PokeBox deck that I own. Actually got this, I think, back in 2019, 2020, something like that, and I've taken very good care of it, so it's lasted quite a while. I'll be doing a review of that deck later down the line. So tarot decks tend to be broken down into two different sections. The Major Arcana, which is 22 cards. The Fool starts at 0, and the Major Arcana ends at the World, which is 21, so that's 22 cards. And then the Minor Arcana is made up of 56 cards, broken down into 4 different suits: the Wands, the Pentacles, the Cups, and the Swords. Sometimes decks will change the names of these, such as Pentacles being called Coins, or Cups being called Chalices. And for the most part, they tend to be Wands as fire, Pentacles as earth, Cups as water, and air for swords. However, I have owned one deck in the past that swapped swords with wands, so swords was fire and wands was air. The 56 cards are also broken down even further into ace through 10, which ace means 1, and then there are 16 court cards, also called royal cards or face cards. Some creators will add more cards or take away some cards, but for the most part, tarot tends to be really structured 78 cards. Most decks are a Rider-Waite copy, which doesn't mean obviously copy paste, but tends to be pretty generally around the same iconography, I would say. So here is the Orion's Animal Tarot for the Magician, and you can see it's just 2 snakes around a sword and a wand, versus the PokeBox Magician, which is Fennekin's evolved form. We have Arbok, and then a whole bunch of different little symbols down there at the bottom. And these are just 2 of the decks that I own that are tarot decks, and they all tend to be roughly about the same meaning, which is very helpful because some decks don't come with booklets. Like the PokeBox deck did not come with a booklet, and that really would have new beginners struggle with learning how to read it. So I definitely recommend, if you are getting your first tarot deck, I highly recommend looking into the different books that they have out available, or definitely read up on the booklet if it comes with one. If it doesn't, then try to learn more of the traditional meanings until you can learn how to intuitively read. Oracle decks, on the other hand, I have 2 of them. One is the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle by Grounded by the Moon. I highly recommend buying this if you can. They also have a tarot deck, which is on my to-buy list because it's gorgeous. And then I also have the Starcodes Astro Oracle. This is the Sun card. So oracle decks don't have as much of a structured, traditional structure that tarot has. So where tarot tends to be 78 cards typically, oracle decks can vary from 12 on to 60 cards. I have a friend who's made their own oracle deck. They don't really use it for other people. They've used it for me for a few times, but for the most part, it tends to be just for them and whatever they're asking. And it's over 100 cards. So while this isn't like a published deck of theirs, it is something that they use quite frequently and have built up over the years with up to over 100 cards. The astrology cards are 56 cards total, so this is about the same amount that would be the minor arcana, not the major. And that does not necessarily mean it relates to those cards. It's just based on different astrology concepts, such as the zodiac signs, so that's Aries through Pisces, the houses 1 through 12, the planets, including the sun and the moon, and some other fun little things for that. So there's no universal structure, and they all are usually centered around a specific type of theme. So for the astrology deck that I own, it's based on astrology, and then the Inner Witch Oracle is based on the movie Practical Magic. Some decks are herbal, some decks are crystal, some are color-based. They vary very widely. And the number of cards can vary as well, such as 56 for the astrology deck versus, I want to say, 40 for the Inner Witch. Usually 20 to 60 tends to be the more common number, I would say, but again, they vary so vastly between each other that I've seen all the way from 20 cards on up to well over 60 cards. So which one is better? I'm going to say that this is completely subjective. There is no tarot is better, oracle is better. And that's because they're both equally useful for different things. Oracle tends to be more beginner friendly because for the most part they'll usually have keywords written down like the sun is source, south node is past, ninth house is exploration, and the Inner Witch Oracle shows clear quartz as divine connection, new moon as new beginning, Halloween for magic. And most tarot decks do not have that. There are some decks that do offer keywords on either the front or the back, depending on the size of the image that they use. But for the most part, tarot usually just has the name of the card and then usually a booklet alongside it. And the booklet can range in sizes as well. Some booklets that I own are bigger than the decks that they came with. Some are smaller. Some are considerably smaller. And they tend to be different levels of useful. I definitely prefer when booklets are bigger than the cards and have the images of the cards alongside the general interpretation and keywords and phrases, as opposed to the traditional manga deck that I have. The booklet is considerably small and each interpretation for the card is only like 1 or 2 words. And that's really not that great, but it's still more useful than not having a booklet would be. Oracle decks tend to be a little bit more straightforward. They're also more modern than tarot decks. Tarot decks, most of them tend to be based on the Rider-Waite, which was made back in the 1900s, give or take a few years. And so they tend to be more universal, more traditional, more older, I would say. But that does not necessarily mean that just because it's older, it's better. It is entirely based on personal preference. Now, here's a fun little thing that you probably didn't think of. You can actually combine tarot and oracle to be used alongside each other. I have not personally done this, but I do know someone who does this, and their readings are very, very nuanced. They're very, I would say, introspective, very informative. However, in order to combine decks, you kind of have to have them roughly be about the same thing. So if I were to buy an astrology-based tarot deck, I would combine it with the astrology-based oracle deck. I do want to get an animal oracle deck, which I'd probably use alongside the Orion's animal deck. And really, there is no one is better than the other. They're both equally useful. So, if you guys liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Look forward to the next one, where I will be doing another unboxing and first impressions of the Astro Oracle deck. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!